What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today we're back to answer your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
And that is what Jaegerbomb has done. His question is, which brother would you most consider be helpful to Guilliman? And also, which one would be considered a hindrance?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I think out of all the loyalist Primarchs, the one to come back to help Guilliman, I feel, would probably be Dorn.
That's a good one. Because with Dorn, you know he's there for the Imperium. He made all the defense matrices. He seems very loyal and stoic. So Dorn would make a good choice. Was that the reasons why?
Yeah, those were the reasons why. Because he fits so well with Guilliman. And Guilliman right now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to bolster Ultramar. He's trying to expand his control over that region. And what Primarch... it would be perfect to continue to fortify that region if you have a Primarch who specializes in that.
Right, it's like Guilliman goes forth, takes things, and then Dorn would defend it.
Right, yeah. It's a great crusading duo that should have happened during the Great Crusade, and I don't think it did.
Which do you think would be more of a hindrance? Like, who would hold him back too much?
Definitely Leman Russ.
Yeah.
Because Leman Russ is wild. He's untamed.
He doesn't play by no rules.
And I think...
everything is wolves to him.
Yeah. And I think with him, I think he would want to take the fight to the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Which Guilliman wants to do as well. But at the same time, he knows that he needs to establish his base, which is Ultramar. And he knows that, with this whole warp... what is it called? The Maelstrom or...
That tear that split it in half?
Yeah. With that, it's harder to single out, whereas before you had the Eye of Terror and you could just say, okay, we're going to attack the Eye of Terror. Now it's kind of there's warp portals everywhere now. And Leman Russ would be like, let's kill them all.
Right. Yeah, definitely Leman Russ would be. The one that I'm unsure that could go either way would be the Lion.
Yeah.
Just because he could be traitor, he could not be, so it's up in the air.
Yeah.
But he could be a really good, help to him. But we'll never know.
Next question.
This one is by Brian B. He asks, when the Loyalist Primarchs all come back, who do you think will be the final one to get the Emperor's Sword? Obviously, Guilliman can fight, but his greatest asset would be to be the administration of the Imperium. So, who would benefit the most from the sword? The best swordsman, Jagtai Khan comes to mind. I could just see him riding his awesome jet bike, or if it's a motorcycle, whatever it is, with a flaming sword would look pretty badass.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Leman Russ is he's like a brawler. He's gonna get right up in there. Well, I don't think that sword would help him too much because it also amplifies psychic powers and stuff.
He has one too already.
Yeah.
He has that cool looking. Is it a demon sword? That we got from, or is it a Dark Eldar one? I don't know.
I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, he has a really cool sword. Jaghatai Khan has psychic powers, right? He has manifested them since he's been in the war.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'll go with the Khan.
Next question comes from Mordbon1. Did the Emperor augment himself originally with Gene Seed as a genetic experiment, or is he unaugmentable God-man? He was heavily augmented. His suit, I don't know if it was his psychic abilities or his suit somehow would allow him to change sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there was, but they were standard augmentation, not gene seed implantations that we know of, or that has been spoken of in the lore. If that makes sense.
Right. I mean, in my opinion, I would prefer him to be unaugmented to just show the might that he doesn't need any little power ups or boosts. He himself is that force of crazy force of nature that can just wreck everything.
Wreck. Next question comes from Cole Smith. Sound Alchemist, how did you create your celestial sons? What steps did you take to create them? I am asking because I want to create my own 11th Legion knockoff.
Nice. So basically, I didn't even, like, the first things first, it says come up with a name, color scheme, all that stuff. No, I didn't do any of that. I wanted to focus on a single aspect, and that is the Primarch. So basically, I built up the Primarch's personality first, and then kind of molded everything after that. So with my Primarch kind of having like a dual personality almost, there's duality to the Celestial Sons. They got that name because they're supposed to be the hope of the Imperium. They go out, they liberate humanity. However, there's more underneath that, because the brightest sun would cast the darkest shadow. So they're the hope of humanity, but at the same time, they're going to be responsible for like a really bad thing. So just add things into the lore that kind of incorporates that, and then kind of focus on one or two themes, whether it be like for me, I knew they had to be psychers that wielded fire because of the sun, and then because of that, they're also good with plasma because that's what the sun is. So plasma weaponry, fire weaponry, and that all has to do with kind of up close and personal stuff. And with plasma, obviously they're gonna hurt themselves if they roll a 1. So it's like they're good up close, but at the same time that's their negative. Like they're gonna hurt themselves. You're gonna see some casualties, but they're okay with that. So just kind of build off of that. And yeah, that's basically it. I'll do a more in-depth video later, but for now, just focus on a few key themes and just build from there.
Next question comes from Lux. Why was the why have the custodians stood by and let the Imperium cult get to where it is now?
That wasn't their job. Their job was solely to protect the Emperor. Yep. And it doesn't matter what's going on with the Imperium. They're just there to stand watch.
Yeah, same can be said with like pretty much every other faction that knows that the Emperor hated religion, and wanted to destroy it. So like the Space Marines, their autonomy is there because it shields them from whatever effects humanity does on itself. And they know from the very beginning that the Emperor's goal was to have humanity rule itself, which is why they eventually were going to get pushed out. But that's the whole core of the reason why Space Marines, Adeptus Custodes, don't really mess with the ecclesiarchy, even though they know that it's bad, because it's a flaw in humanity that they have to correct themselves.
Word. This one's by Squiggly Line. Which Primarch has the best alias? For example, the Night Hunter, the Praetorian of Terra. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Wait, what was the question?
Like, which Primarch has the best alias?
Oh.
Like, you have the Angel, Sanguinius. I don't know. I'm like going through them, and it's like, what sounds the coolest? Because they're all pretty cool, in my opinion.
I think the Night Haunter is probably the most badass sounding one to me.
Yeah, like when I think Night Haunter, like it brings you like sense of dread and like fear, and that's what he's all about. So we'll go with
that. Next question comes from Mayhem55. Will you ever stop reading the same people's questions again and again and give other people a chance to ask their questions for once? You wasted your question, man. Next question.
Mercenary. Do you think that Hellboy could survive in 40K?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see... Did you see the reboot?
No.
Me either.
It looked amazing. The trailers made it look really badass.
I heard it bombed.
Well, the thing about it, too, is that I don't like the actor. The guy from Stranger Things. I don't think he's a good actor. Like, don't like him. And... Before the movie came out, Guillermo del Toro and then the guy who played Hellboy, I forget his name, they even came out and they were like, well, we've been trying to make the third movie in the trilogy, and they never like gave us the ability to do it. And it's just kind of like, well, if you know that Guillermo del Toro is going to build this amazing movie, make it the third movie, and maybe even like wrap everything up, why push that to the side and then build that thing that wasn't even that great? But that was another reason why I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Hellboy would destroy like demons, and he would just be a really badass anti-hero in 40K.
Yeah. This next one is a very interesting question from Frosty Pen and Paper online. Please buy 2 cats and let them sit on you while taking this video. That's no question, but it's very important.
I don't really like cats. Like, I'd rather have a dog or be around a dog than a cat. Why do you want the cats to sit on us?
Everybody likes cats, on the internet at least.
Oh.
I got a hamster. I guess I could bring that in.
You have the hamster sit on you.
Mm-hmm.
What about a guinea pig? Can we get well, they scream, right?
The guinea pigs scream?
Yeah, I think so.
What the heck? I've always wanted one, but like my parents said, nah, they're too big. So we always stuck with hamsters. This one's by Malcolm Jeffries. What is harder to achieve, becoming an Astarte or an Inquisitor?
I think we answered this last week. Space Marine.
Yeah.
A Space Marine is way harder than an Inquisitor because the chances of you dying are astronomical.
Yeah. Just the process itself to become a Space Marine is crazy.
And with the Inquisition, it's really based on your skills, whereas with the
Space Marine?
Yeah, my hand felt weird. Oh, because of this. Okay. And with the Space Marine, what can happen is if the Space Marine doesn't require all the recruits that pass the trials, they'll just kill them and just take one. So even if your skills are like to par, you pass everything, it just won't work for you. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. We do this 4 days a week, guys. So if your question's not being answered, just ask it a bunch of times. That's what most of these guys do. Multiple questions. Yeah, same question in every video. It works for them.
Yeah. Also, if you see a question that you think should be answered, like it so it could be easier for us to get to.
Yeah, and if you really have a question that needs to be answered right there and then, go to the most recent video and comment that question in that most recent video. So if it's a 40 facts video, see the dogs. Comment it there, and then we'll answer it there because I'm more up to date now with answering your guys' comments on the video that goes out that day. Yeah.
This has been the Sound Alchemist,
Gershwan,
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.